Hello and welcome to the first look that I have had at Space Marine 2. Now you're going to be seeing plenty of people obviously putting up some content now because content creators have had some early access to play this, although I will say it is very limited, it is not the full game. I've had an opportunity to play some of the PvE stuff, a little slice of the campaign, but definitely not the full. It's just a taster to give an impression and look at the quality of the game, the performance of the game, and so forth. What we're going to be looking at today primarily is a single PvE mission. I will have another video with a different PvE mission and also a first impressions later on this evening. I won't be narrating throughout this video because I think it speaks for itself and you guys want to have an opportunity to just look at the game, listen to the game without me prattling on throughout. I will say it exceeded my expectations so far anyway, especially in terms of performance. I think very obviously that delay that came earlier may have been to do with that because, you know, some people were saying how on earth are they going to do this, how on earth are they going to perform it. They've obviously got this new engine which enables them to do the Tyrannid swarming, and it really is amazing in game. The performance, I was very rarely dropping below 60 FPS most of the time unless you're in extremely intense combat, barely dropping below 80-90 frames, so it was very solid throughout. I will say as well, the game is nicely challenging. I think if you were co-oping it with humans, it would be definitely a lot easier. I decided to play by myself because, again, I didn't want to have to worry about people chatting and rushing through. I wanted to take my time, look at the game. So I just played solo and I just played with the AI. And again, sometimes that's interesting as well because a lot of people, it's not easy to always find people to squad up with, and you want to be able to make sure that you can actually get a good gameplay experience if you're just playing solo and you want to do these PvE missions, obviously through the campaign similarly. But the AI, for the most part, was pretty good. They dealt with enemies, not just continually letting me do it and doing barely anything. They picked up the pieces around the edges, they followed me generally and weren't too derpy, so it was pretty good. The gameplay and the atmosphere overall, extremely awesome. It definitely feels as mechanically engaging as the original Space Marine, which was a really big deal for me because although that gameplay some people said was repetitive in the original game, I found it always was very mechanically rewarding, and that's what kept me coming back. I can imagine myself similarly with this game. I can imagine wanting to just grind and grind, which neatly brings us to where we are now. So here we are on the battle barge of the Space Marines. Here's a Thunderhawk. Interestingly, this game has kind of pushed me because if you didn't know already, I own a Thunderhawk. It's been unpainted for about 2 to 3 years, and I very much want to crack on and get that done this year. But I haven't been able to decide how I wanted to paint the Thunderhawk. And I think this game has kind of inspired me because I'm like, oh, this is great. I can just perfectly try to emulate the Thunderhawk in game here as closely as possible, including all the weathering details and so forth. So I think that's what I'm going to go for. It helps obviously that my Space Marine army is Ultramarines. So here on the battle barge, there's loads of cool atmospheric sound and so forth. Some Space Marines being spoken to by Mechanicus, everybody just having a nice time and chatting away. But here is where we come into basically the armory. And this is where you can set up your Space Marine. This is for the PvE stuff, and I'm imagining obviously also for the PvP side of things when that gets going. Actually, in terms of speaking to the PvP, haven't had an opportunity obviously to play that. But if the gameplay mechanics play as well as they do in the PvE side of things, I think it's going to be incredibly enjoyable. Okay, so here we are, the armoring hall, where you can change out your loadout, your class, tactical, assault, vanguard, bulwark, sniper, heavy, loads of different loadouts, bolt rifles, bolt guns, melters, plasma gun, basically everything you would expect with a standard Space Marine loadout. I'm not going to go through this in extended detail and go through every single perk and advancement and all the rest of it. But basically there is a massive amount of customization. You can go down skill trees and stuff like that to basically improve things. You perk trees, different qualities, mastercrafted, artificer, relic. Some of the legendary weapons look absolutely awesome. But there's a ton of visual customization for your Astartes as well, and you can do different chapters, which we'll look at. It's all going to come back to just the grind in terms of how many missions you complete, various objectives they want you to do to unlock various things. I played the PvE side of things through quite a few times so far, and I will say that so far, Tactical and Bulwark have been my favourites to play. Tactical on the Imperial world and the Bulwark on the Death world, because the Bulwark, when you're playing with the other AI, and again this could even be true with the human players, I just found it was necessary more often than not to be quite survivable when the waves of Tyranids come in, whereas on the Hive world there's a lot more ranged engagements, more specifically targeting enemies and wanting the flexibility to change up between the two. So I found that was generally the way to go. Here's some of the visual customization. Pretty awesome as you would expect, but then it's not particularly difficult, is it, to make Space Marines look epic? Add some tabards, add some extra details and embellishments, and you're good to go. But no, it really does look pretty epic. Nice that you can have loads of different customizations, all sorts of different details and stuff that you've unlocked you can combine with other gear. And I'm imagining, of course, that's going to also carry in for PvP and stuff like that as well. Loads of pauldrons, tacticus, different marks, errant, there's a Death Watch one there, so yeah, tons of different detailing, all of it looks absolutely epic. And then of course lastly we've got the chapters, just to cover that, so all of the standard loyalist chapters that you've got going on that you would expect. I can't go in and see the specific detailing for these because obviously you have to unlock it in order to do that, but I think you can well imagine, knowing the different chapters, all of the different customizations you could get. And again, that's another thing I think that's just going to be really good in terms of repeat gameplay and coming back into the game loop, is wanting to go through and unlock all the stuff for those different chapters as well. So I think that's enough. I think we've covered everything really on the Battle Barge at the current time anyway. Obviously it deserves a bit of a deep dive, but I think that's really worth doing closer to release. So let's get into the gameplay basically. You come over here to where the Thunderhawk is, which is what you're going to deploy with. You choose the interaction to select the PvE mission you want, or just a quick match to jump in with other players. So I'm going to shut up and allow you to enjoy the awesomeness of this mission. Like I said, quite a challenge. I'll keep it as raw as possible with just a few minimal edits and catch you at the end.
Lieutenant Titus predicts the Tyrannid's Hive Tyrant is leading a swarm along a corridor toward the astropathic relay. We are inserting you near a bridge held by the Imperial Guard that intersects with its path. You will level the whole structure and crush that XENOS monstrosity in the collapse. Visual on drop zone. Setting down. Assist in the defense of the bridge until you confirm that the XENOS Overlord has entered the kill zone. Then trigger the detonation.
Orders confirmed, Captain Akaran.
Delta Wing, box check. Viridian's still in the air, Lieutenant.
Talassa receiving. Commencing mission.
Acknowledged. Proceeding to relay. Maintain box reports. Damocles out.
Auspex detecting Tyranid presence.
I have observed your silence, Valius. How is your morale?
Strong. I would share my reflections, but I have observed you seem more comfortable in quiet.
That is considerate.
Auspex engaged. Now the XENOS fire core eliminated. Stay dead, Ravener. This kindles my righteousness. Auspex deep scan ready. You are fertilizer now, XENOS.
You appear to be reining in your advance.
I do not wish to range too far ahead of you.
Your pace is adequate.
Then I will trust you will tell me otherwise.
Affirmative.
Gray
grace of the Golden Throne be with us all, children of the Emperor. May Saint Lankai usher you to safety. I offer my flesh and my spirit as a shield against these XENOS oppressors. May my body spare the lives of those who keep safe the astropathic relay. I shall buy time, my friends. I shall ne'er return. Remember this day as the sacrifice of...
Throwing frag grenade! Our brothers in arms need our help. Let us hurry! Disgusting tyranny! Throwing frag grenade! Swapping magazine. Exterminate. Commencing Auspex scan. Pathetic tyranny. Resupply. Fresh munitions. Resist the tyranny wave. No more surprises from this victim. Expensive stairs. Spore bombs incoming! Calibrate your aim, brother. Activating all specs as well. You are fertilizer now, XENOS. Fresh magazine in. Picking up extra rounds. Gathering supplies. Stim injection administered. Swapping magazine. All specs primed.
Your demeanor is a light in the darkest hours, brother. I am glad to have you at my side.
You honor me, but such a virtue pales when compared to your tenacity.
Nonsense. Good spirits is mine. There are no finally coming yours.
Then let us spread our cheer to the alien, the mutant, and the heretic. Another XENOS bioform eliminated. Shock grenade out! Exterminated. Be ready. Reporting in from the tower, Captain.
The Munitorum does not store explosives to Codex Astartes standards. It's enough to demolish the bridge.
Brother, I refuse death. We require multiple detonations for our demolition. Ammunition cache here. War gear acquired. Reloading.
Explosive payload insufficient. Source additional war gear.
Where it's my bed. The stench is sickening, but the beast is dead. Stand resolute against the XENOS swarm. Rearming. Detecting my set-it mine. Ready to throw. Grenade hot! Preparing discipline. Swapping magazine. We require multiple detonations for our demolition. I still have explosives to place, brothers. Explosives prepared. Suspects deep scan ready. Disgusting tyrannid scum. Fresh magazine in. I still have explosives to place, brothers.
Identify structural support for demolition.
Detonator primed. We are ready to ambush the target, Command.
The Hive Tyrant will reach your position shortly. Join the Imperial Guard defenses up on the bridge, and lure that XENOS Colossus into the kill zone.
Fresh munitions. Changing magazine. Fertilizer now, XENOS. carnage! Picking up extra rounds.
Ensuring mission readiness.
Fiber bundle failing.
You are ready.
And carnifexes cannot keep up. Another XENOS firefall. The hive mind loads our fate. Rearming. Rally to me, brothers! No telling what surprises await.
Show us how angels go to war, my lord.
Astartes! We were not expecting such illustrious company in the rear ranks.
Resupply. Stim injection administered. Ammunition cache here. My resolve is tempered.
We've got a handle on these probing strikes, my lords. It's the relay that's getting hammered right now.
Our target is a hive tyrant. Once we kill it, the relay will be secure.
That's news. Without armor support to tackle a target that big, We may have to bring down the supply bridge.
Our plan requires it.
Is this a withdrawal order?
Negative. The objective is the Hive Tyrant, not the bridge. Defend this position until the Tyranid command unit is executed.
Understood, my lord. May the Emperor guide our lasguns to your support.
Incoming!
Ready up, 8th! Show the Emperor's angels what we are made of! Swarms on the bridge!
More enemies on the bridge!
Gathering supplies. Releasing frag grenade.
They're stacking up! Get a frag in there!
The Hive Tyrant is on its way, but there is a horde of XENOS between you and it. Dig in for the wall.
Close quarters, more gear.
You have its attention. It is moving to intercept. Apply more pressure. Keep your eyes peeled. The XENOS leader beast will be in visual range shortly. Waiting for optimal timing.
I've never seen such an atrocity.
Hold. Give the Hive beast a moment. Detonate the charges now. The ambush was a success. It is not dead.
Titus, can you elaborate?
The swarm would go feral without their connection to the hive mind, but their focus is still on the relay. Reports confirm the Lieutenant's assessment. Enemy cohesion still in full effect. That beast is not yet dead.
We hear you, Command. It will be done.
We can hold this position, Lords. We'll keep the swarm off your backs while you hunt that thing.
Pathetic Tyranid abomination. Auspex deep scan. Your battle awareness is impeccable, brother. How do you hone those?
I reduce all unnecessary traffic.
Ah, understood.
My battle awareness would be less effective without your Auspex, Valius.
We make a good team. subterranean XENOS below. Ravener down. Reloading. Fresh munitions. Administering self-aid. Look at it flee!
Pursue and eliminate. We will not have a better opportunity to finish it off.
I am recommending you for commendation, Stranger.
No. Thank you.
You will resist the badge of honor.
Keeping my brothers alive is the only honor I require.
Exterminated. Rearming. Fresh magazine in.
Class steel and mortar. This
Your
bridge is a fine
stalwart
example of
resolve
what
is a
Imperial
bastion
industry
in
can
these dark
achieve.
times.
The amount of supplies and spatial transport will bring new life to this sector.
Of my battle brothers.
It's an artery
to the heart
vital
of it.
flowing with Imperial
I can
goods,
imagine
munitions,
that.
and supplies. Support beams tested to 10 times the municipal limits, exceeding Imperial quality limitations. I can say that this bridge will stand the test of time in any tectonic events. It'll outlive me by 10,000 years. Project Overseer comments approved and recorded.
Small bombs incoming! Pathetic tyranny. Throwing crack grenade. Moment runs. Dispensing stims. XENOS fireform eliminated. Swapping magazine. rounds. All specs engaged. You are fertilizer now, XENOS. Administering self-aid.
Hello again. Now, I did just want to jump in here and talk about that section of combat. I was absolutely certain I was going to die. It was incredibly intense, and look at this looming tyrant coming through. I also was very concerned about fighting this guy for obvious reasons. But that last engagement, I think it really shows how full on this game can be, and like I said, I really did not imagine that I was going to come through that. I thought, oh, here we go, this is the end of the mission. But we managed to pull it through, and there's loads of stuff to talk about in my first impressions about how important it is to connect up, chain, execute enemies, block, dodge where you can, use your abilities, move around, and so forth. But we'll talk about that more later on, but just a really amazing engagement.
Talassa, report.
We are after the XENOS Overlord. It cannot run forever.
Talassa, you cut out. Report.
Lieutenant! Lord! Our Fox link is out. We must be nearing the relay.
Maintain squad cohesion. Continue pursuit.
Ready anti-psychic tactics.
Changing magazine. Scanning. Rearming. We severed the Zoanthrope's connection to the HIVE line. Resupply. Moment, brothers. It is going up that wall. Let us try to head it off. I am executing the Emperor's will. Arm to arm with his finest, slaughtering the enemies of mankind. I have every reason to smile.
So long as you are baring your teeth toward the enemy, I suppose it would do.
Ammunition cache here. Be ready. Activating.
Here we come, spiky bastard!
So a successful mission, and I will talk about the different levels in my overview of the game so far, my first impressions of the game so far later in a different video, but overall absolutely awesome. The Tyrant was obviously quite a challenge, downed several times. I think the AI were doing some pretty heavy lifting for me, to be fair, but it was very enjoyable and great to sort of have the process of going through the entire city. That's why I try to look around quite often and just get different atmospheric angles so you could have a check out of the environment and all the detailing that they've done there. But like I say, the game plays well, flows well, it's hitting every mark for me at the current time. The next mission I post will actually be a defeat to show you how easily that can happen, so that's going to follow up directly after this.
In his name I will fight!